Hi, this is Stefan Gonik, Soulmate Attraction Mentor and founder of the Soulmate Attraction Academy. Welcome to Love Talk Q&A, the place to be to get your questions answered about finding and keeping the love of your life. In this episode of Love Talk Q&A, I'm going to be answering the following question. Stefan, how do I stop myself from feeling like I need to change in order to be loved? Well, unfortunately, this is a very common experience where people feel like they need to change, that they just can't be their natural self in order to be loved, that the authentic version of themselves is somehow not acceptable. So how do you stop feeling that way? Well, the first thing is to understand where this comes from. If you have this feeling like you have to change in order to be loved or lovable, then there's a good chance that one or both even of your parents were critical and judgmental. And now they may have been loving part of the time. It's not like I'm saying that they were always critical and judgmental. So they could have alternated being even very loving sometimes, but also being critical and judgmental at other times. And the thing about being on the receiving end of criticism and judgment is that criticism and judgment has the energy of rejection to it. Okay, so if a parent is criticizing you for something, if it happens on a regular basis, then the message you get is that that part of you that's being criticized or judged is not okay. So there's this part of me that's not okay. Okay, and if it happens a fair amount, a child will generalize and start to feel like I'm not okay. Who I am, all of who I am is not okay. Because that's basically the message they're getting. And since criticism and judgment has the energy of rejection, then it feels like I better do what you want. I better, do the things that you want me to do the way you want me to be, and not do any things that you don't want me to do and ways you don't want me to be. Otherwise, I'm at a risk of being rejected. Okay, so this is how it all feels to a little kid. And this is what causes you as an adult to feel like you have to change in order to be loved. You can't just be your natural self. Okay, and this can have a huge impact on your love life, right? Because, even if you're able to find a good partner, you never feel love for who you are, because you always feel like I have to be something else. I have to be what you want me to be in order to get your love, in order to keep your love. So you never feel like you're really being your true self, and therefore the love always feels conditional. It never feels like this unconditional, total, solid, secure, stable love. And in a way, you almost feel like you're not even being loved for who you really are. So it can lead to a very lonely feeling. So it's very important to address this kind of thing. Now, the truth is that your parents had their own issues. All of our parents have issues. No matter how great a parent is, they have issues, right? Because we all come from our childhood. And the parents before us had unhealed issues. Nobody has Buddha as a parent. So, I guess these issues impact children from generation to generation. So if a parent is critical or judgmental of a part of you, that doesn't actually mean there was anything wrong with that part of you. It just means that due to the issues of your parent, that parent was having a hard time with that part of you. Okay, so let me give you an example of that. Some parents or some people have a hard time with emotions, right? Due to their family experience where emotions were unsafe or non-existent or whatever, they end up having a hard time with emotions. And if a child is being emotional, which is a very natural way to be, is to be emotional. We are, a big part of who we are our emotions. The parent may have a hard time with the child being emotional. And the parent may be critical or judgmental of the child being emotional, or it may be one of the emotions, right? And so the child will then learn that, if it's all the emotions, it's like my emotions are not acceptable, or if it's a particular emotion, then this particular emotion is not acceptable. And then they'll be afraid as adults to show that emotion or even any emotion. Okay, now is that really true though? Was it really true that any of their emotions were unacceptable? Well, the truth is, no, that was not true. That all of our emotions are fine. But for whatever reason, the parent had a hard time with that emotion or emotions. Now this can apply to anything. I'm just giving emotions as an example. So when we get criticized and feel the judgment of our parents for some part of us, it's almost always actually the issue with the parent, not us. But then we feel like that part of us is not okay, and we don't feel comfortable showing it, right? So this is a dilemma, is we have essentially all of these, you can even call them lies in a sense, that this part of me is not okay, this part of me is not okay, this part of me is not okay. They're all lies. They're not true. Who we are actually is okay. So we're going to do a little tapping to try and address this. To really address this, you need to go back to some of these childhood experiences and address it at that much deeper level. Okay, that's what's going to really help you turn this around so that you can feel good about yourself, feel good about all of who you are, and feel comfortable showing and expressing all of who you are, which is what it takes. We need to be our authentic self to find our soulmate, because otherwise, how would our soulmate even recognize us, right? If we're soulmate matches, they're matching to all of who we are. So in order for them to recognize us as their match, we have to be able to show who we are, right? It makes sense. So like I said, we're going to do a little tapping, and I would encourage you, though, to do the deeper work of going back to the original experiences of feeling judged and or criticized by a parent for different parts of you. All right, so let's go ahead and do some tapping. Repeat after me on the karate chop point. Even though I feel like I have to change to be loved, even though I feel like I have to be changed to be loved, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself anyway. Even though I feel like there's parts of me that are not acceptable, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself with kindness and compassion. Okay, now all the points. I feel like I have to change in order to be loved. I feel like I can't be myself, or you'll reject me. That's how I felt growing up. I got criticized and judged for parts of me. It made me feel like those parts weren't okay. And that felt really bad. It made me afraid of being rejected and losing my parents' love. And that's very threatening. So now I'm scared to be all of who I am. I'm still afraid I'll be judged and criticized and ultimately rejected for being my full self. Because parts of me don't feel acceptable. So I hide those parts of fear of being rejected and losing your love, which is a very hard way to live. It's so sad to not be my true self. The truth is, all parts of me are acceptable. The criticism and judgments that I got from my parents were their problems, were their issues. It wasn't about me. It was about them. I was born this wonderful little baby. There was nothing wrong with me. There was nothing wrong with me as a little kid. There was nothing wrong with me as an older child. There was nothing wrong with me as a teenager. There was nothing wrong with me as an adult. And there's nothing wrong with me now. I choose to embrace who I am. I choose to be my full, unique self. Yes, that's scary because of my childhood. But I long to be me. I long to relax into my authentic self. And I choose to do that. I will do that. I will overcome this fear. I will be my authentic self so that my soulmate will recognize me. Plus, it's so much more relaxing. I choose to let go of this fear of being rejected. If someone doesn't like parts of me, they're not my match. It's not a rejection. It's a mismatch. And they're not right for me either. If they cannot appreciate all of me, then they're not right for me. And I'd rather move on and find the right partner who will recognize me by me being my full self. I look forward to being my full self. It feels so good to relax and be my full, authentic self. God, what an amazing possibility. I look forward to that. To not hold back any longer. And to be my true self. Hallelujah! It would be so amazing. I choose this gift for me for the rest of my life so that my soulmate and I can be together and recognize me. All right, take a deep belly breath. So just a couple minutes of tapping. Hopefully that'll help you feel a little better. You can certainly keep repeating that tapping over and over again and keep giving yourself a boost in this area. If you address the childhood memories, that will give you the deepest healing, and it won't be a struggle, right? You won't be like kind of striving to let your full authentic self show through, facing the fear of the possibility of rejection. You'll just have healed that issue, and you'll just be able to relax and just do it. But in the meantime, feel free to keep tapping along to this video to give yourself a little boost to make it just sort of incrementally more and more helping you to move in that direction. So I would love to hear what you think about this video and to hear what your questions are. You can put them in the comments below, and I'd be happy to respond. And I just want you to know that no matter what your childhood experience was, you are a wonderful, unique, amazing being. You were born that way, you're still that way. Okay? So I encourage you to embrace that within yourself. So hope this all was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Love Talk Q&A. Did you like this video? If so, click on the like button below, subscribe to this channel, and spread the love to your friends. And if you have questions about your love life, please submit them in the comments below, and your question just might appear in an upcoming episode of Love Talk Q&A. Also, if you would like to understand the 3 key blocks to finding love and how to attract your soulmate now, sign up for the free Finding the Love You Want mini course. Well, thank you for hanging out with me, and remember, no matter how long you've been trying, you really can have the life and love you long for. This is Stefan Gonick, International Love Coach from FindingTheLoveYouWant.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on Love Talk Q&A.